Berserker, Ursa, Zeus, and Invoker. He has the smallest hero pool of any of the EG players during the group stage, so.
Which is understandable. This game rotates around a couple of power picks, especially this late into the meta of this tournament. You know, we've identified the heroes that they're looking to set up for, and I think it would be silly for them to, you know, explore too far outside that comfort zone.
How much did you explore during that group stage?
During the group, I mean, I think Croaky talked a lot about it, and some of the other players talked about it in the interview, is everybody is just like watching what everybody else is doing and then like taking it immediately and being like, okay, this is what you do against this hero, this is what you do against that hero. And there was yeah, you just gotta try and pick it up as fast as you can. And I'm curious how much EG learned from even just that first game up here against LGD.
Is that the difference between teams now and maybe 3-4 years ago? Is that they learn faster?
You have to learn faster in order to keep up. So I guess so. Yeah. If you look at the most successful teams, LGD bans the Enchantress this time because they don't have the first pick, right? That was a hero that, although like Enchantress didn't seem to have like the biggest impact, I guess the heal was really nice against Venomancer and like the Gyrocopter AoE, but the Enchantress actually allowed FY to roam around on this Earthshaker during the laning phase instead of being stuck in this like 2-1-2 setup, and it really did put a lot of pressure on Alchemist. We saw all the, the crowd was going crazy over those fissures that he was stealing the hard camp creeps from Alchemist, and that kind of pressure, like, it definitely slowed him down.
Yeah, it takes away a little bit of that gold, takes away a lot of that experience, and just in general makes the Alchemist, especially the way that maybe played afterwards, right? Where he was just like, once he took that tower, it almost looked like Mid-1 on the way he was playing his Clinks, and where he was just fearlessly diving into the enemy side of the map.
They found a scenario where they had 2 lane matchups where Ench could win her lane by herself and the Tiny's winning mid. So that's like the freest game for the 4 position to play.
Yeah, and Spectre was under a lot of pressure, but I was really impressed by the tier 1 tower defense that they had in that first game. They took this massive team fight. They brought just about everybody up there, I think, and it didn't look like they were going to win the fight until they did. They maybe had the really early Shadow Blade. I really liked the idea of him skipping that Blink Dagger and going for a more stat-based item. If you think about some of these items out here that cost, like, we have a Blink Dagger, Boots of Travel, Midas. These items, and even like Radiance to some extent, they're almost backward items because they actually kind of make you weaker. Right? Like, I'm a big fan of heroes, if they win their lanes, to just continue with that momentum, buy that Drums of Endurance, buy that Shadow Blade, and just continue to build. Make yourself tankier, make yourself harder to kill, because if you win your lanes and then you die, the enemy team gets a lot of rebound gold from that.
I like the fact that you mentioned the safe lane tower defense, because that is actually something that's different than what Mid-1 would do, right? Mid-1 would invade the enemy's safe lane, take their tower away, and then take over that jungle area. But instead, LGD basically protect their safe lane tower, which also prevents evil geniuses from spreading into that jungle area,
I think they knew that they were just stronger, because they had felt that they had won their lanes, and they were like, we are just stronger than them right now, and we should not concede anything.
Yep.
And one thing that I think a lot of like these mid players are doing when you have these like really one-sided mid lane matchups, or like, let's just say you're in any lane as a core or a support and you're losing your lane, your first response is like, okay, we need to get this laning phase over with. We need to go somewhere else and do something else. But the proper response, I think, from the enemy team is, let's say the Alchemist starts going to the jungle, right? Tiny, he should go to the jungle too.
Yeah.
Right? Or if Alchemist goes top and tries to take that tower, Alchemist or Tiny should just follow him, because Alchemist, all he's trying to do is get away from this Tiny because he can't win the lane. Just follow him around and let your hero matchups carry you through the game.
Right. We have a couple of answers in our draft already. The Tiny is banned by Evil Geniuses, and they've opened with what Peter pulled out in game number 1, which is the Wraith Willow opener. Spectre for EG as well.
This combo has haunted me this tournament. It's like you don't want to waste one of your bans on these heroes, and you know they're not like these heroes don't have incredible wave clear, but their team fight is really good, and their laning is really good.
And the Lich coming to count for EG.
I honestly thought they were going to take Willow on EG first pick just to deny that combination.
I mean, Spectre first pick is pretty out there. We saw, I think the only other time we've seen this is Virtus Pro did it in one of their like early group stage games, and I believe they lost that game. It was there was an immediate response of an Undying, which PSG didn't go for, but the Wraith King Willow is nothing to.
Do you think it was blocking LGD from picking the hero? Are they scared that LGD were just going to first do it?
They went for it last pick last time, and I feel like they would do it. Maybe they would move up the priority a little bit. I feel like Spectre can be picked in the second phase on like 15 or 17 because he doesn't really have a ton of counters. But even on the last draft, they waited to pick it until 22. I'm surprised EG pushed up the priority on that hero that much. But this Wraith King Willow, it puts a lot of pressure on your draft, because not only do you have to think about heroes that are good for the game, you also have to think about heroes that can just deal with this lane. And there's really not that many heroes that can have success here. Like we've seen a lot of Ursas, which is banned, Weavers, which is banned, Silencer, which is also banned. He's done decently well as like a backup for some carry, but I don't know if Spectre Lich can really hold up to that lane. It's, when that Wraith King stun comes out and the Willow Brood follows, does Spectre get away without, having to use a salve, at least?
In the group stages, they used an Ursa in the offlane to combat that.
Yeah, Ursa.
And it was Arteezy that actually moved out there.
Exactly.
With it as well,
Ursa just smacks around Wraith King, and to the point where like he doesn't want to go in. And Ursa's also just pretty tanky in lane, so he's just not afraid.
And then going into the mid game, you also have to worry about this Willow being able to just play inside your jungle all the time. Like, you want to be able to have some ways to deal with that Willow. Otherwise, she plays aggressively into you and either gets pickoffs or she ruins like your smoke ganks and all those timings.
Yeah, it's like also against this Willow hero, like your favorite heroes to pick are like Earthshaker and Earth Spirit, these heroes with these like vector stuns, right? But they're so bad in lane, right? Like, and you need something to help you get to deal with this lane, and those heroes just don't do it. Like, you want to pick like Undying or Treant Protector or maybe Elder Titan or something like this anti-melee kind of guy, but you're just not that happy.
So if Evil Geniuses...
Sorry, have you still got this love affair with Undying?
I know he's one of your favorite heroes.
But he's one of yours. You seem to be playing him a lot recently. Like about a few months ago, I remember you saying to me, I've just discovered how easy it is to play this thing and how good it is.
He can be pretty good. He can be pretty good. But we saw in that last game, like if you're not ahead and you're not able to actually win these team fights, the hero feels pretty underwhelming. And I liked it in the last game for EG, but they were just lacking like solid lockdown.
Yeah,
right?
It's been used a lot against the Wraith King though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's very good against Wraith King. Like, you just spam Decay in lane and you click him, but you still need a good core matchup, because we played an Undying up against a Wraith King Willow, and sure, I was running around spamming Decay on the Wraith King, and he was kind of running around, but he's got this ranged stun that he would eventually just like land on my carry, and then Willow would just be laning against my carry, and Willow's strong in her own sense.
Yeah. Well, one of those heroes is going to be banned away that you mentioned earlier, the Earthshaker. I feel like Pugna is also very strong versus Dark Willow. Wow.
Warlock, huh? I'm very confused by that pick.
Well, you were saying something about like how with the Earthshaker, like it's not the best laner, but you're presuming Evil Geniuses are going to run like a very, very oppressive offlane, right?
Terrorblade's banned. They're going to pick a hard carry here, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. There's no Spectre, there's no Terrorblade.
There's still PL.
Yep.
There's... I don't know. It's like if you pick this Warlock here out the phase on 15, and then it kind of allows you to pick whatever you want for the lane, because Warlock's just going to heal them through this like Lich harass, right? My one concern is that I feel like Lich, as a hero, he denies creeps, and I feel like that's the biggest weakness to a Warlock lane, because realistically, if you're laning up against a Warlock, he's just going to heal the core, and the core is going to hit creeps. And if you can just win that CS matchup, like I'm big fans of like Treant Protector and Magnus and these heroes with high attack damage that can just win the CS war, because Warlock's not going to be putting a lot of harass into that lane. He just wants to like watch his carry farm, and he wants the enemy team to click his carry and for him to just like sit there and heal him.
This is a super early couple of core picks, Regi. They're not renowned for this. These early pickups, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the Mirana is... I mean, the Spectre first pick, I definitely did not see that coming. The Mirana out the phase, it can actually lane decently well against the Wraith King Willow. I think that's probably their goal here, is you just stay at far range, you have the leap if things get dicey, and I mean throughout the game, like you have some, it's just a good hero. The Moonlight Shadow is such a maybe not underrated thing anymore, but yeah, there's that hard carry option. I'd like the Luna. This hero has been forgotten this tournament.
Yes.
But the thing about this hero, he has natural farming ability, and he farms faster than like any carries, right? If there's not like a Battle Fury carry in the game, Luna is going to outfarm them.
They've now picked two heroes that were only played twice apiece during the group stage, and neither of them won. That's both the Warlock and the Luna.
So the important thing with this hero then is to be able to make sure that you win the laning phase, but also don't lose any map control. That way you have the space for the Luna to be able to accelerate. You want to have control of your Ancients, maybe even farm the enemy Ancients as well.
It's been the counter to Lich, right? Like Lich brings back all the waves onto your side of the map, and Luna just wants to go push.
Yep. And something you've been talking about is like, hey, this Spectre Lich, like, the Wraith King and Dark Willow, who wants to lane against it? You're kind of implying Spectre Lich is likely to go to the off lane, and now I feel like Spectre, whether you're in the off lane or the safe lane, either lane looks pretty rough right now.
Yeah. that's probably their laner to go up against the Wraith King Willow, and I guess they're most likely going to pick Crit's hero here last.
Sumail playing the Mirana.
Yeah, I would think so.
You'd imagine it's Necro with S4 and Spectre with RTZ.
Definitely. Well, they could do Necro mid and pot him in a side lane, but I think that you probably just want to put Necro in a side lane here.
Yeah. In fact, actually, looking back through that group stage, S4 did play that Mirana twice, as well as Sumail playing it twice, so they've got a little bit of flex there.
Yeah, so heroes to look out for this last pick for LGD. Mirana can lane up against the Huskar. Necrophos can lane up against the Broodmother. Alchemist is unbanned, but
and
potentially
no one plays the Meepo
picked. I don't think any of these teams are playing Meepo. I think that I would worry about maybe like a Dragonite hero, something that lanes really well up against Mirana. Mirana just kind of wants to right-click and bully the enemy heroes with her right-click damage, and Dragonite with the base armor and regen with Dragon's Blood just doesn't give a care at all.
It also looks like they want to play very fast. Like with Luna and this Wraith King Dark Willow lane, they push towers.
They do. They want to just end this game before Spectre comes online. And I think that right now they're definitely like showing their hand.
What are AG missing?
Big team fight.
Yeah,
big
fight.
Elder
So
tight.
do you want a Tusk in there?
Tusk actually just got banned.
Oh, he did. Okay.
So, you know, I like where your head's at. You're with it.
Wyvern into any of these Dro or Luna lineups can always be a bit hard. They're going to be pushing into you pretty heavily. You need those really big team fight spells, right?
Wyvern could work.
There's the Phoenix as well, but that's only Fly playing that as well as the Lich.
I feel like Crit could play some Phoenix, but it would be a little bit strange. I don't think we've seen him on that hero just yet. Lina ban, so maybe they do want to put the Necrophos mid. That's a traditional lane. It's a really good matchup for Lina throughout the game. Also, EG's really low on stuns right now. They've got Necro Scythe and Potam Arrow. There you go. There's some team fight, right? If you got the skills, I think Crit's got the skills.
Oh yeah. His second most played hero of all time. He's 166 career games on that Rubik.
It's a little bit weak in lane to Wraith King Dark Willow, but I think that the Necrophos will help them get through it.
Well, ding dong, the Admiral's in town.
Yep, and that's your Kunkka mid up against this Mirana with the Tidebringer auto attack. It's going to be so hard for Sumail to contest CS in this lane.
Yeah, Arme's gone on to the Luna. Nova's on the Warlock, of course, and Chalice on the Wraith King.
They're thinking about the hero matchups. I feel like maybe they're considering putting this Necro mid, because I don't know how well Mirana's going to do in this matchup.
Especially with the catch that Kunkka naturally gives you. I was thinking about Ember Spirit. I think like any sort of catch mechanisms for PSG.LGD, they just want to force these fights because they have the superior team fight so early.
All right, so Sumail's going to go on the Necro here, and they are going to switch it up. S4 will move to the off lane with the Mirana, and Fly, of course, on the Lich. Artesia on the Spectre. Right, let's get some thoughts now from Bulba, who's with Casey.
Yeah, Bulba, you hear people cheering your name as you walk down here. I'm curious what kind of a game you're expecting from LGD based on their draft.
They play kind of the same game, play style every game, but they just play really well. They have really good players, so we kind of, just like a lot of little things in each of these games that can change one thing. The last game, they won, but I think a few things kind of went down to why they won. So just like very little things happen in all these games. So it's a lot right now is like you just draft some heroes and you just play, and yeah, so.
Good luck, Bulba. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, does the road end here for Evil Geniuses? Are LGD about to make the grand final? Let's head into game number 2 with Lyrical and Trent.
In the words of the coach, you draft some heroes, you play some Dota. One's done, now to start the other. Trent, what do you think about that draft?
It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Just pick the heroes and play. How hard can it be? But I don't know, some heroes, they seem to really have a rise when it comes to TI, and I feel like Luna is one of them. You know, she makes these random appearances, sometimes the replacement for the gyrocopter. Sometimes you just need a little bit of aggression in that lane. All the hard carries were banned out, and so here she is, Nova, coming to join the party here, backed up by the ex-Nova Warlock.
It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch, I feel like, in this game number 2. Like the panel was saying, EG backs up against the rope. They need to win this if they want to keep their TI hopes alive and push it to a game number 3. The other thing that I'm really curious about and I want to see is this Kunkka. I love this hero, always provides so much entertainment and maybe one of the best in the world at it.
Yeah, certainly so, and all that catch, like, I think there was some hesitation about the Necrophos too, just gonna be a bit of a rough game, obviously, against a lot of magic damage there, coming up from the Dark Willow, from the Luna, from the Kunkka. Your Ghost Shroud is gonna be very risky this game.
And you can see LGD spirits are high as they're cackling to themselves inside the booth, already feeling quite good about it. But it does sort of bring up a lot of questions here now. Last game, we saw the Spectre just sort of take over eventually. EG saying, all right, we're done with that mess. We're just going to take it first overall. Do you think that that was the right decision? I mean, what are they sort of losing out on by taking the Spectre this early?
We've seen a couple teams attempt it, going for this first phase Spectre throughout TI, and some of them have won their games. It just seems that, like, even if you know this hero's coming, if you think you can beat out the timing, a lot of teams have thought that. Be it a first pick Spectre or a late pick Spectre, they seem to think, okay, we can push, we can beat the Spectre, but every time that Spectre seems to battle on back.
And they do have one of the better heroes in the game for keeping that pressure going, as we're going to see the bounty runes traded off, 2 apiece for each team. In the Kunkka, you talk about the X marks the spot, you TP back home, you can just keep a push going that otherwise might not have been able to conclude.
Yeah, sustain from that, sustain from the Warlock, heavy team fight coming in with that ultimate when you need it. And all it takes is one fight. Much like Terrorblade, a hero Ame loves, Luna can do the exact same thing. Take a Rax on an instant.
You see that they're set up trying to find a kill, and wisely Fly is not going to be the one that runs into him.
Yeah, it's going to go for the TP. Back to the wave in time for RTZ. So that means his TP is being used already. No switching lanes for the Spectre.
Top lane, Fly was still being sort of zoned out there. As mid lane, they talked about some of the issues that you might run into. They did not send the Mirana mid. Instead, it's going to be Somnus playing against the Necrophos, played by Sumail. Still runs into some damage issues here. Tidebringer giving you that bonus damage on denies.
Yeah, can be some tough issues there for all Sumail, but as long as he can secure some denies and some assets, of course, the regen is there to help sustain against the constant harass of something like the Tidebringer. I think the bottom lane also going to be very interesting, of course, as we have a Rubik now in this game, one of these heroes that also tends to show up big at TI.
Ooh, a couple denies there, Sumail. Doing and crunching the numbers.
Yeah, very nicely done. Get those Death Ball stacks going. But the Rubik, much like the Earthshaker, need a very good partner in lane to make it work.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit tough for him, too. You look at this, you have the Lunar Blessing, level 1 for the Luna to get that extra bits of damage as mid lane. Somnus just going to pop that salve. And meanwhile, leaping forward. S4 wants to find a kill. The Fairy Fire keeping him alive for the moment. The right click's coming through, and Crit taking first blood.
Fantastic hero to get first blood on. They're already moving Crit over to the camp whenever they go for the arrow to share that experience. Now he gets the first blood. These early items just so crucial, especially when you're starting relatively poor. Means he'll get into boots pretty early in this one. And now a stack too. I want to make sure that they can get these arrow creeps ready.
Sumail doing a little bit of magic there with the creep wave as Crit trying to get the pull off and was able to succeed.
There was a block there from the Radiant, though. They put a sentry in the camp to ensure there wouldn't be a secondary stack there, and they'll have to take it out now from Crit. So nice play there from X-Nova. That will be worth it just to slow down the bigger creep spawning for the arrow and make it more difficult for EG to control the lane that way, as far as to actually tank up a lot of the wave.
Yeah, so far, it's still Arteezy not having the greatest time trying to last in on this tower. Wants to get a Quelling Blade, but because LG has been pushing the tower with the creeps, he hasn't been able to get to the side shot yet.
Yeah, likewise for the Luna, not going all too well, but she does get a full wave now, so she'll catch on up and surpass Arteezy in a moment here.
He's just trying to mess with FY as he moves over to contest for this pull. We saw such a good game from him last time on the Earthshaker. Can be a hero on this Dark Willow that can also make similar types of plays, just game-winning engagements.
Yeah, they're having a hard time getting that pressure onto the Spectre that you really want, though, right? You want this Wraith King stun into the Bramble instantly, all of this punishment, but the Lich always able to hold back the wave, be it by sacrifice or be it by just simply pulling the camp. When it is out this far, though, that's where Arteezy has to be very cautious. Yeah.
Mid lane still just trading farm, and Sumail, staying true to his sort of mantra, is going to be able to lead in the CS right now. 17-7, another deny there.
Look at his itemization. He already has the double null going, has a wand and a Fairy Fire too, so plenty of damage stacked on this Necrophos.
Sort of, you keep giving him these tools with the heal onto his own creeps, he can kind of mess up the CS that normally looks easy for a Kunkka. And 3 minutes in now, we see down bottom, there hasn't been that much more aggression, but as we've seen already, the leap charges could come out and possibly spell doom to X-Nova if he steps too far forward.
Yeah, much like how Ame went down, it can just be over in an instant, but trying to keep their HP topped up. You can see X-Nova not really prioritizing himself at all with the heals, just trying to get by on only tangos, maybe thinking he can get them to go on him here. He's playing very aggressively.
And the arrow comes out, they found him. A quick hit there onto X-Nova, and he dies.
Maybe out of practice on the Warlock. I feel like when Warlock's been successful, you got to stay in the box. You don't leave the tower. Anytime you wander around there, that's when you go down.
It's going to have to come back to lane again. Meanwhile, mid, maybe sort of abusing for the moment, as we see there. And again, the CS mess up caused by Sumail. It's the X mark and then TP back, come back with full HP, as well as a bracer.
Yeah, maybe heavily suffering here, though.
Very cool matchup play by Sumail as he's pushing him further back, and he just TP'd. He's going to have to use up this Tango, and now kind of needs to play scared once Sumail gets 6.
Yeah. Likewise, though, again, that whole magic damage, there's certainly a big swing around when it comes to the level stacking up on top of this Kunkka, going for big boat combos. Necros has to be cautious not to get fully one-shotted. If there's a roaming rotation with the Dark Willow as well, there won't be any time to go Shroud.
I did see...
Down bottom, Ame caught.
In trouble. Ame chased down, and with another leap, they secure that kill.
Look at
S4.
Playing so far past the wave there.
S4 has been involved in all of the kills down bottom lane. This has been a hell of a game for him so far. Stun up in the top. FY wanting to make something in return. They have the Brambles. They're rooted. The Cursed Crown is going to connect. And Arteezy potentially going to be dove under the tower. LGD to try and dodge away. He gets through the trees and able to escape.
Nice use of the dagger there from Arteezy, but now they move on to Fly, but those long cooldowns for the Dark Willow will mean there won't be any follow-up left for the Bramble Maze. And Dark Willow's just coming online too at level 3. You really want that first kill.
Chalice turned around on as Arteezy is just going to lay into him. The punches come in return, though, and well, they can keep playing aggressive on this Spectre. Whenever there is a creep wave underneath that tower, is FY going to try and go for this pull and get the creep wave into a favorable position.
Yeah, Arteezy just surviving with these raindrops, though. Trying to counter some of this constant aggression coming out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Scythe threat is there from Sumail, so maybe just going to have to try and buy the sign here before he gets his own 6, and that means he's going to be zoned away from this catapult.
Sumail is doing so good on these CSing. He keeps on getting denies on the Kunkka creeps, and that's sort of the reason, one of the reasons that you take this here is to be a lane dominator with that Tidebringer.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he's able to play so aggressive, too. He just has full confidence in this lane that there won't be a rotation coming in from FY, because if he does get caught by a Torrent into a Bramble Maze, there is some potential there if there's not enough stacks on the Magic Wand.
Farming out, trying to deal with those illusion pressure that came to the top side. As 6.5 minutes in, it's been relatively quiet with the exception of that bottom lane. A couple of dives here and there that haven't amounted to other kills.
Oh, Crit coming through here with a great ward in the mid lane. They know they want to pressure onto Sumail, but speaking of pressure,
top lane, Cursed Crown comes through. Chalice gets the Mortal Strike. The Bramble Maze is down. And going into the Shadow Realm, can they kill him off in time? Yes. Oh, the Fade Bolt, though. Crit says no, and now turns on to FY. He's already used the Shadow Realm, trying to run away from him here and pull him into the Bramble Maze as well. Fly moving into position with the Frost Blast, but with the TP out, FY is going to be okay.
Yeah, nice using the Brambles there for cover to retreat, but once again, it's Crit showing up. He has 3 kills already on the Rubik. He has Arcane Boots.
And X, Sumail far underneath the tower is going to be found. The Ghost Shroud is there. A lot of magical damage. He still steps the Magic Stick, though. And now walking away from them after the Ghost Shroud. Somnus needs to be careful. He turns with the Reaper Sight bringing him low, but there's the Ghost buff. They kept him alive.
Oh.
Gotta remember the rub.
Dangerous play there, going for that kill without the Dark Willow, but it will work out in the end thanks to the rum there. So Sumail overextends, maybe that ward giving a bit too much confidence this time, as his 2 supports are smoked up. Seeing Chalice rotate in, but that point is still being held now. Possibilities for Reincarnation turnaround, however, seems unlikely with how far away he is from the tower.
Yeah, Chalice definitely under fire here as they have the lift. He will skill it. So Chalice decided to turn around and try and come back for a second life. Wants to get a kill on to Fly. The chase is there. The punch is coming. He is going to be slowed after the fact. And with another Wraithfire Blast, might be able to find him. But Fly fogging away.
He might live.
Skeletons are still going. And instead, they might turn it on to Crit as Chalice of LGD finds the kill.
Well, not often you get to rotate at 8 minutes and get a kill streak from a support, but maybe very happy to find one. Good choice there with the rotation. Chalice confident in support from his friends, and there's even more lined up here from FY.
They ran into the Brambles, the Torrent, it connects, they got the boat, it's coming down on top of the head of Arteezy as the Mortal Strike secures it.
LGD applying this pressure so well, but EG, they will try and put as much as they can in the mid lane too. X-Nova here just to soak up this experience as much as possible, while all this attention drawn away from Ame in that bottom lane, slowly trying to become a threat for the side of LGD.
This is where things can get so scary very quickly. The Kunkka's rotations, but
another Bramble.
They lay it down. trying to hold back for the moment, but it looks like EG are going to possibly be able to secure this tower. They're going to look for the deny. The Curse Crown coming in. Ame with the Eclipse has found one. Crit in trouble. It's starting to fall. They're going to be able to find that kill and possibly more. Sumail wanted to go for the ulti there possibly, but there's the Lucent Beam, the turnaround, looking for the finish, and Sumail backing out. Yet again, Reaper Scythe is back up in 1 second.
Yeah, but how about the timing on that Curse Crown? They secure the deny there from X-Nova, sneaks it in, and takes away a little bit of that advantage from EG that they were hunting for.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
9.5 minutes into this one. It's 9 kills. We get closer and closer to the level 6s, and it feels like there's a lot of huge ultimates in this game.
Yeah, S4 though being completely left alone. He's able to help pressure into this tower. X-Nova makes the rotation over, and that vision.
Well, sidesteps the arrow, still got the heal coming through. They get to the
pop
shrine,
from
living
Chalice.
through it. Chalice shows up, saving his buddy, and they throw out the Wraithfire Blast. He's low on mana, and now Mirana in trouble. Does have another leap. They're chasing forward. The Curse Crown connects. Can they find S4? They're going to split up for the moment. And the lift should secure the retreat as, well, the Haunt comes in as well. A little bit of a messy engagement as they throw the stun onto one and trying to find this kill onto X-Nova. Arteezy very deep, and they don't secure anything with that Haunt.
Yeah, have to be a little bit cautious there. FY holding that Bedlam. Even level 1, a very scary skill to run into. Trying to predict those wards that have come out now from EG. They'll miss the mark, at least on that prediction.
Well,
Sumail still pressing forward here, feeling confident as can be with that ice armor.
and he is very, very willing to go in right now, and just need to be a little bit aware of any potential movements. I mean, Ame is not even in the bottom lane right now. They know that Eclipse is on cooldown, and so they're feeling confident chasing forward for Chalice, who is going to get pummeled into the dust. Dies, no reincarnation that time. X-Nova with the upheaval. S4 is walking into this. The Bedlam needs to leap away. All that magical damage, incredibly hard to deal with, and now Crit able to steal it away from him. That is a big pickup, taking that Bedlam.
This is pretty dangerous. There's no core rotations that can come here for LGD.
FY.
He might escape, but they saw that upheaval, and there's no TP back here for X-Nova.
In the meantime, mid lane, Sumail gonna get hit by the Torrent. They drop down the ship as well. The Tidebringer isn't enough damage. Sumail gets the Ghost Shroud. Able to live through.
Playing to the absolute limit there, and that's now 50 seconds where maybe won't be around to get successful kills or maybe even defend that bottom tower. But X-Nova, he held it strong. They'll rotate Chalice back down there, now has the reincarnation back up, so a better chance at actually holding it, as well as possible rotations from Ame with that Eclipse if they need it.
I mean, this is really sort of the scary thing I would say about the draft from LGD is Luna's kind of been left alone to free farm over the last couple of minutes. Didn't have the best laning stage in the world, but now starting to catch up a bit. As Somnus holding on to a DD rune.
Yeah, it still takes quite a bit for the Luna though, so we're back to that same game 1 plan, right? It's now up to maybe to try and make these plays across the game on this Kunkka. Doesn't quite have the ultimate backup, but in combination with the Dark Will, this is an insane amount of damage, even for a Spectre.
They're moving up top. They're trying to find him. FY smokes break.
So hard to play in the trees
in the
versus this
jungle.
Bramble.
They want to find him. There's also Ame in the area, and Arteezy not showing on map is able to dodge away from that gank. If he shows here, though, for even a moment, Ame might make the call for them to rotate in, and these heroes moving down to the south. Arteezy shows the chase coming. Crit is there as well. He has the Bedlam. They take down the Luna right at the get-go, but now they have the X, the Torrent, the boat. It's going to come out again in a second, but no, it's only onto one, and Arteezy just TPing away. They drop down the Chaotic Offering. The boat on top of it. Arteezy caught and killed.
A relatively even trade in the end there, as they, of course, lost their Luna too, but really pleased with getting the turnaround there from LGD, as there was a gold lead there for the Radiant, or for the Dire rather, so you get a little bit of a bonus there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And a deep ward placed down here from Fly. Looks like it might have been spotted by Chalice, possibly not. It's rather close.
Kind of a cool build from the Wraith King going right into the Spirit Vessel. That arrow dodge might alert for the presence of wards in the area, though I think he just saw it coming.
Yeah, and with the hood already picked up for Sumail, he's building layers here. He's opting for the Veil after. And that means he's going to be pretty late on any sort of a Yules or something to counter out that Spirit Vessel if he can get it quick enough here on Chalice. But with how much they're brawling, and again, it comes back to this idea of just sustain, trying to keep these pressures up when the Luna's ready to go with that Mask of Madness.
How quickly can she come online?
Nice scan here from EG. They'll spot out the fact that maybe is lurking up top, looking for Arteezy, so he retreats into the trees.
I mean, this is such a scary time to be playing against a Kunkka. The 4 points in X means that any initiation is going to have a Torrent boat follow-up. And then on top of that, he's been able to build into that 40 damage talent just for that extra little bit of burst.
Oh, FY is going to get found out here after just using the Bedlam to farm up.
Goes into the Shadow Realm. Chalice is there. The Moonlight Shadow. EG walking forward. They see FY in the area, steal away the Wraith Fire Blast, and looks like they're going to go for Chalice first, while also trying to take down the kill onto FY. 2 quick kills could be a win here for them as they also commit the Haunt. The Ghost Ship to try and secure the retreat, but Arteezy on the backside takes down Ame, left completely alone, and now Chalice in his second life is looking like he might end up falling. EG making the plays with a 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, great abuse of the Warlock cooldown there. Knowing that they can pressure in deep like this. Going to try and go for something here off the Torrent, but no boat able to follow up. No other heroes, so no real problem there for EG. Good use of that forward vision that was placed down from Fly earlier on. Looked like they have a much more well-planned out game plan, strategy in the first half of the game. Felt like EG couldn't really find that forward vision and get any good smokes going in the first game, but this time it's them who are pressuring deeper into enemy territory.
Both of the cores right now, for both EG and LGD, feeling like they're just having a rough game. Arteezy only 200 gold ahead of this Luna, and both of them below all the other cores in the game. Based upon this play, it does feel like maybe it's going to need to be Somnus himself to make that space for LGD.
Look at Sumail though, wrapping around here once again. Might be able to sandwich LGD, but will Arteezy survive?
In the top lane, they got him caught. There's in the jungle. The boat is going to land. The Bedlam on top of that Spectre. They try and turn it, but it's not going to happen quickly enough. They might be able to bring down Chalice, still living through it with that boat buff. Keeping him alive. The chase for more Crit, trying to run. Is he living? He actually survives. And now Crit gets hit with the Tidebringer. 2 down.
Oh, what a save with the Urn coming in there. Chalice able to keep himself up.
16 minutes, 9-8. It's only 1,000 gold lead. A very tenuous game number 2.
Yeah, EG will get pressured in the mid lane too with that catapult, so they'll be forced to deny their own mid tower. But at the very least, that means it won't be going over the side of LGD as S4 secures one for themselves, the catapult of his own in the bottom half of the map. And now Moonlight Shadow available in case there's any more of this aggression from LGD. They have the Warlock ulti, the Chaotic Offering ready to go if they need it. Be harder for EG to actually press through. And look, playing like Crit last game, I feel like, or rather last night, FY just camping himself in enemy territory, looking for these solo pickoffs.
Somnus, though, the big Tidebringer. There's the X. There's going to be the follow-up afterwards with the Torrent connects. Can they find the kill? Another Tidebringer shot? No, it's not going to be there, though. He's invis there. He walked in. Able to find him.
S4 trying to push the limits there. He does force a lot of rotations down there. If that means it's buying time for Arteezy, it just might be worth it. They need to get the Spectre going. The other 2 cores far ahead of him on their team.
And you got to imagine that now you're going to be playing a lot more carefully as EG with that Shadow Blade reveal on the Kunkka.
Yeah, and the problem now is that they have the Chaotic Offering and they have the Eclipse. They just want to pressure into this bottom tower. And Haunt will be up, but you're still not quite ready to fight. In fact, Arteezy, he knows he's going to be involved in these, so he is going straight for that Blade Mail. A lot of uncontrollable damage here from LGD. Might accidentally get a couple deaths going, but we often see that the boat rum effect can be very strong against Blade Mails.
And Ame laying into that tower. They bring in Crit, gonna get the lift to start the fight, and they have the Torrent, the Chaotic Offering down, Ame living, but not long enough. The boat's gonna be there, but can it kill off Sumail? I don't think so, at least for now. They have the upheaval onto several. They throw out the Terrorize, not bad with the Starstorm follow-up. They take him down very low and are gonna be able to find the kill. FY almost dead, Arteezy also falling. So already 3 dead for LGD, and EG trying to take this one. They chase down Somnus, a double kill for S4, and now last but not least is the Wraith King.
This time the fight is just much better executed coming up from EGD. LGD, you have Ame, he's just stuck up front. He dies way too quickly. Chaotic Offering isn't there in time for the save. You lose all of your damage of your Luna, and then S4 coming through, finds the arrow on the Dark Willow, slows her up during that Shadow Realm. They don't get any big combination with Terrorize, Brambles, Bedlam. You can just see almost more than double the damage from EG in that fight. Wasn't really much of a fight at all.
And this sort of harkens back to what we were talking about before, the lack of farm that you got on Ame. This hero is not tanky enough to survive that combination as FY. Looks like he's gonna try and live for the moment. He throws out the Bedlam, seeing if he can kill off Fly, but no luck at all as they are able to kill down FY. Again, harkening back to the issue, you just can't survive through that burst.
And now Arteezy with that Blade Mill, he's ready for these fights. He wants to push himself in towards that Yasha and the Manta. And if he can just keep focusing down Ame during these fights, they're going to have some real problems. They don't have that true save unless you're going to drop the Chaotic Offering right away there. I felt like it was just a bit too late from Xnova that time.
And also, using the Chaotic Offering means that you're that much less able to fight right now for LGD. And EG going to be trying to take advantage of that, farming across the entire map. As Xnova smoked out, Chalice and Somnus possibly looking for a kill here onto Crit. Tasty treat as there's going to be the X, the Torrent, it connects, the Wraith Fire Blast follow-up, and they get themselves a kill.
This game there is definitely a stronger Roche threat as well, I would say, from the side of LGD, just with the combination of the Wraith King as well as the Chaotic Offering, just controlling the whole pit and all that overall damage from the Luna. Feels very strong for LGD if they can get a good hold of this part of the map. But Sumail constantly doing a good job pushing this out. Looks like they're going to draw a big line from Crit. He seems to think there's going to be a wraparound onto Sumail, so he'll retreat back, and it's pretty correct. Use the Moonlight Shadow to scout this. As the bounty runes are coming up, they know there's going to be heroes here.
Looking for that initiation. Chalice, they have the Reaper's Sight just to hold them in place for the moment until the Bramble Maze is actually able to turn it, though, and they take down S4.
Maybe thinking it was just going to be a sole hero there, but not enough damage in time there, so Chalice gets away with one when he didn't have the Reincarnation.
Xnova immediately going to be dewarded, but still, it is a big kill for them, taking down that Mirana, while Ame going to try and farm out EG's side of the map, realizes no Ancients here, just try and steal away.
Yeah, this Luna, only the Mask Madness, not too scary, but once again, that Manta, and then the BKB after. Things perhaps feeling a little bit more dicey there, but another great steal there from Crit. Gets himself the Bedlam.
I mean, he had a great Willow game yesterday. It looks like he might have another one today. Already playing it. Trying to get towards that Yule Scepter. And as we've seen, Arteezy being a lot more involved in this fight means that he's fallen a little bit behind the Luna now, who's starting to catch up. It's still maybe that's sitting top of the net worth.
Arteezy needs fights too, because he's gone for this Blade Mail build. He doesn't have a farm acceleration item like the Luna does with the Mask of Madness. So the less that they're fighting for the side of EG, the slower he's going to be pacing. But at the same time, they obviously can only really fight when the Scythe is up and available. They have to wait for that for Sumail. And Sumail, because of the way he started out, by trying to dominate the lane with the double nulls, he goes in towards the Veil. Then he feels like he needs the Hood, because there is this ridiculous amount of magic damage from the side of LGD. But that means he's not going to be able to get anything to dispel the Spirit Vessel early on in this game, as he wants to go in towards that Radiance to have it available for his team, because Arteezy's not purchasing it. So it'll be interesting to see if Chalice can really punish him because of that, as they go after Fly using a Spirit Vessel charge, and we'll now add 2 to the pile here for LGD.
Pick up there for them, and now EG, again, sort of spread out around the map. They have Reaper's Scythe back and available in 10 seconds if they decide that they want to fight, but as we mentioned earlier, the scary thing, Chaotic Offering is back up. They're going to have Reincarnation there and available, Eclipse, all of these big ultimates. And is there a side that you feel like sort of needs to take these engagements more often in this game? Maybe one that scales better into the late game?
Heading late, I think we're just going to favor Spectre. We're just going with that. You know, it's a pretty good hero in that sense, but LGD, they definitely have a better lineup for just pushing forward right now. I think they haven't gotten as much out of it as they could have with this lineup. I would say EG have been playing very well. Keep this one as an even game. Feels like they just had like way too many movements early on. Things that perhaps LGD weren't really expecting. And a lot of downtime on some of these ultimates for LGD. Like they've had Chaotic Offering for a long while, not really finding the way to use it. Not a ton of solo pickoffs really right now for FY. And EG, they push forward here. Don't even drop any aggressive wards, really, and they're still able to secure most of this tower.
There's the blink reveal, and Sumail caught yet again. The boat's down. They have the Chaotic Offering, everything, but Sumail's still living through that one after the fact. Arteezy on the backlines finding Xnova. He's throwing out the upheaval now, which is slowing down EG so much, and they're cut into this miasma of despair. Although they are able to turn it, the Eclipse turnaround isn't enough. The Blade Mail, a triple kill for Arteezy. And now, finding more here as well. It's going to be the Rubik dead, a double kill for Chalice, and they found another. Fly, the captain, trying to run. Somnus pulls him back in. He's stuck again to the side, trying to get out of there, but they will eventually hunt down and kill off the Lich.
Maybe just such an important hero to keep alive during this. I feel like he really needs that next big item to try and fully secure this game for his Luna. Did a ton of damage. Actually, so did Chalice, considering this Wraith King is basically blinking in there. 2,400. And Arteezy's Blade Melee paid off. Got a couple of kills, a triple kill for himself. But the fight is secured. The tower is saved for LGD.
Now, it was a big comeback for him, but as we can see on the net worth, it's starting to feel like LGD's heroes are eclipsing those of EG after that last fight. Only 1,000 gold still separating these two squads.
It's going to be so much chaos in these fights now for FY as well as Ame, hopefully, to work around if you're on the side of LGD, right? If you can get into this BKB for Ame, he's going to feel like you kind of have to commit the scythe almost sometimes. See if you can burst him down, but then there's going to be this roam reduction, and maybe he's going to be trying to make as much space as possible in combination with Chalice. These BKBs are pretty brutal. Looks like that smoke was spotted from the side of EG. They draw a line predicting that they were going straight towards Roche and then onto the high ground, but won't be correct. They're actually wrapping around the other way. So EG going to be trying to hold this high ground here and set up for a big arrow play here from S4 potentially.
Yeah.
Trying to bait out Fly at the forefront.
Well, in the last couple of minutes, you did see the Spectre get to level 15, getting into more of those stats. Just all of these items and abilities to try and keep him alive.
I believe we call this the Dangler. The smoked up entire team around Sumail right now. Like, oh, they wanted smoke. You know, they're trying to find this big kill. So we're going to sit all around him.
Somnus, maybe going to take the bait. He's just going to go for the X play and then immediately afterwards into pushing out the creep wave. But they have maybe found another Ame. Realize trouble's a-coming. They're trying to chase. They have some leaps.
Lockdown problems again for EG. They don't have these really guaranteed stuns. No real long initiation for him. I mean, you look at LGD, those kind of moments, you can just drop the rock. You can try and throw it a Curse Crown, at least give some chance of a chase. Or you can even go for an X mark. Nothing that's too simple right now for EG. And now a Blade Mail picked up for Chalice. Plenty of uncontrollable damage on the side of EG as well. But at the very least, that big rotation did secure this tower. They've gone for the beating, but Arteezy.
He's caught again. There's the X, there's the Torrent, everything connects. He's falling out. No, he haunts away, but still going to be killed off. Neutral creep deny.
Oh, Arteezy finds Ame doing the Ancients, and the Prowlers he hates saves his bacon and get the kill. The boys finally pay off for old Arteezy.
They got him. Random in the All-Star match, but here it happens. It's still going to be a BKB finished off for Ame.
No, he's spotted out here, though. We'll use the BKB.
Just going to run after Sumail, but needs to get out of there.
Yeah, there is a Yule Scepter there, so a little bit difficult to go for that kill in combination with the Yules, and then he's going to have the Death Pulse to go with his Ghost Shroud, so backing away likely the best choice. And they'll be happy on EG2 that they at least burned that 10-second BKB.
Still a 3,000 gold lead for LGD as Somnus looking for initiation onto Fly, but can't quite get in range for that X. They have burned through a couple of those BKB charges already as they will head to the top side.
Yeah, Chalice and his army are just pushing in this tower. He is the Reincarnation, he's a Blade Mill. Not an easy target to force off here as the Skellies go to work.
I mean, it's just really hard to deal with this Wraith King who can keep aggressive no matter what's happening. And if you happen to step up to try and defend, blink stun.
And you heard PBD talking on the panel about these heroes you want versus the Dark Willow. They don't have any of those heroes that can really target you down. Basically, it has to be an arrow or something stolen from Crit. And that's why FY can just camp that high ground and live there forever.
Curse Crown, the Yule Scepter afterwards, but movement in. They just use the Yules. Crit finds the lift, but can they find any more? The X, the Torrent, he's going to Yules himself, keeping himself away from that boat, but there is a heck of a lot of heroes right after him, and the Chain Frost, they're able to walk away from it, though. Popping that Haster, and Somnus dodges away from the arrow as well. Chalice still living through this and thinking about when to take the fight. There's going to be the ulti down. The Terrorize as well, on to 3. They're all fatal bonded together. Chalice trying to chase. Can they kill him off in time? S4 also caught under fire, falling to the grave.
That was such a dangerous fight for EG. The second that Chain Frost dissipated, they lose out on the big edge on that fight. Chalice, the one in the forefront, pressing forward. This is what they want, deeper in.
And they find the Torrent. They found their man. A double kill for Somnus. They're all in the grave right now as the tier 3 tower is going to be assaulted. And it changes just like that.
The danger of the Luna. Yes, you can buy back on the Spectre, but what can you achieve without the Haunt? It's coming back now, but it's too late.
And the tier 3 tower down. It is now Barracks that are falling. They have buybacks on 2 of their heroes, but this could potentially be another tier 3 tower.
Oh, the only answers they could have had in that last fight, maybe a big steal or something from Crit. There's so much pressure on this Rubik, but they were so fast on the upheaval afterward. No chance of the Chaotic offering. Maybe you can find one now, but they're 2 racks down.
You can hear the crowd here, loving every second of it. The LGD fans and EG needing to find some type of another answer.
This is the lower bracket final. Never say die. You have a Spectre. This hero has done it before. EG will be playing to the bitter end. And they got to find some big plays right now out of Sumail. He wasn't able to go for that greedy play on the Radiance. He did have to step back for this Yules. We've seen it useful a couple times. It means that the Spirit Vessel won't just simply destroy him. They need to find big Reaper Scythe kills. They need the big steals from Crit. Everyone needs to play at 200% right now because you're down 16K at 30 minutes.
Suddenly you see the balloon up in levels. You're getting close to level 20 talents for all of the cores of LGD. And the highest level hero on EG right now is 18 on Sumail with that Necrophos. So we take another look at the fight. And again, you look at this, it feels like this could just potentially be one hero picked off, but they feel like they can fight.
Yeah, and then this is what happens, is maybe Space himself, the Chain Frost is now gone. Chalice is the one in front. This is an ideal setup of a fight for LGD. What more do you ask for? Kid, I mean, look at that. Instantly there was a steal from Crit, but how fast is that upheaval? No chance of the counterplay.
Great showing there from the Warlock. X-Nova, he was the big pickup for LGD in January. Was able to make sure that they couldn't turn that fight around against them, getting that upheaval off.
And now the Roshan secured. Just playing out the game right now for LGD. Those basic mechanics that you know, how to win a game of Dota when you're ahead, but on the big stage, just one little thing can turn everything awry. So they have to be careful.
30-minute mark with Roche picked up now. And possibly Ame ready to just, if they want to, clear off the rest of the shrines too, shut down the map, constrict EG and make sure their movements not going to bear fruit.
Yeah, Ame, he's already secured himself with the BKB. Now he's going back in towards that butterfly instead for the extra armor, the evasion, trying to go defensive on both edges there for the physical and the magical. And all they really feel like they're going to need is that last set of racks. The mega creeps feel devastating in this match for EG. But they're still a tier 1 and a tier 2 to get through. But EG at the same time, they can't just give away all their lives or they will just throne you.
18,000 net worth lead right now. EG backs up against the wall. They just need to keep trying to get whatever farm they can. Obviously, every time they leave the safety of their base, Somnus is potentially a threat.
Yeah, Somnus is, he's trying to threaten there with the Invis rune and everything, but there is a Observer and Sentry placed down here from EG, so they're not coming out to fight. They want the best battleground possible.
They have really good vision in the area. They're moving in. Spectre, Haunt available and ready to go in this fight if they so desire to take it. The jump forward, the find onto Sumail. Gotta be careful, the Spirit Vessel is already on top of him. Chalice, still 2 more charges.
They got the D ward as well, so they have to place up another ward now. Crit trying to get as much vision as possible. With that tower down, they've lost their opportunity on the high ground. They're gonna pull back.
Chalice walks forward yet again. The Terrorize is out. It's there. The fear, the catch. Is it going to be the kill? They take him down. Sumail, no buyback for 65 seconds. Crit wanting to turn this. He throws back the Wraith Fire Blast. Chain Frost bouncing around a little bit, but Arteezy, he went for Ame, couldn't find him. As for trying to leap away, but he's only going back to the fountain.
LGD smell blood. They're going in, maybe pressing forward.
And they find themselves the kill. FY able to take himself another fly, lifted up in the air by the Torrent. EG, last heroes left alive. It's a blade mail from Arteezy trying to stem the bleeding, but it's not happening. Another in the grave. EG all out of focus, in trouble, and inside their base. This is looking like it's going to be it as Sumail, last one alive for the team, dead again. And GG LGD are moving on to the grand finals.
LGD just looking like the better team today. A fantastic draft. The Warlock guarding the Luna, giving themselves a great chance there, moving forward. A couple slip-ups there at the beginning, couldn't quite find their footing, but once this ball got rolling, EG just couldn't stop it.
And there you have it. The winners make their way out to shake hands with EG.
What a fantastic run by them, though. I mean, coming into this tournament, amazing they even gained the respect of being one of the top contenders here with such a short formation time.
Feeling the love from the crowd. Absolutely fabulous story for both of these organizations.